If you would rise as you're able, our next song is number 3.
Matthew chapter 2, 13 through 15, and verses 19 through 23. After the visit of the Magi, Joseph and Mary depart into Egypt with their child. Now when the Magi had departed, an angel of God appeared to Jesus in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there till I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him." And Joseph rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what God had spoken by the prophet, "Out of Egypt have I called my child." But when Herod died, an angel of God appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, "Rise, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel. For those who sought the child's life are dead." And Joseph rose and took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. But hearing that Archelaus reigned over Judea in place of his father Herod, Joseph was afraid to go there. And being warned in a dream, withdrew to the district of Galilee. And Joseph went and dwelt in the city called Nazareth, that what was spoken by the prophets might be fulfilled. There shall come forth a Nazarene. May God add understanding to the reading of the gospel. Amen. Please be seated. We're at a very odd time at this time of year with the liturgical calendar. We finally got the baby born last week. Great birthing pains, but Jesus is here. Next week, the three wise men arrive, or two. This week, we skip all the way ahead to after the Magi have already left, and Joseph is having dreams. I still believe they must have had great mushrooms in those days or something. I've never had Jesus come to me in a dream so often and say, go, do this, go, do that. I think I would be a little bit tired. And in the Gospel of Matthew that we hear today, there's also some oddities from that writing. For instance, the child shall come from Nazareth, the Nazarene, to fulfill the prophets of the old. This may shock some of us. Nazareth is never mentioned in the Old Testament. So what's he talking about? So there's a lot of oddities in the scripture, which gives the pastor some freedom to have a little bit of fun with it, maybe, or to talk about it in a different way. God, I thank you once again that you have called me to be your instrument. Anoint my lips, anoint my heart, and let what I say be what you would have me to say, not what I want to say this day. Anoint the ears of those who would hear, that they hear the message that they need on their faith journey. New Year's Day, a perfect day for a remembrance of the past, time of thanksgiving for the present, and a time for the hope of the future. Ann Landers wrote several years ago in an article that is attributed to a book of the Al-Anon, "Today is mine. It is unique. Nobody in the world has one exactly like it. It holds the sum of all of my past experiences and all of my future potential. I can fill it with joyous memories or ruin it with fruitless worry. If painful recollections of the past come into mind or frightening thoughts of the future, I can put them away. They cannot spoil today for me. It is mine." I think this is a good lesson to live by. Today, on the first day of this new year, let us each proclaim for ourselves, if we each could live all the days with this philosophy, what a wonderful, positive life we would each have. Each day, we must claim the day as ours and strive to make it the best that we can. Some days will be the day that you look at your circumstances and all you can simply say is, "Oh well, what do you do?" Other days are the great moments filled with joy, anticipation, and excitement. For most of us, we just have days where we sit back and we go, it's done. We must remember that these are our days to define. Our days that are uniquely our own and will not be shared with anyone. Let us take a look back at the gospel lesson this morning for a bit. William Barclay is a theologian who has a great guide series of the Bible and is a resource that I use most of the time as I prepare for sermons and reflections. Barclay tells of a legend about the travels of the Holy Family from leaving the manger. The family goes not to their home, as we're told, but instead to Egypt to wait for the end of the reign of the King Herod. The legend states that along the journey to Egypt, the Holy Family was robbed roadside, and the band of robbers took all of their valued possessions. And some of the robbers wanted to kill the entire family. Excuse me. There was one person in the band of robbers called Dismas. Dismas had a feeling about this infant child, about the baby Jesus, and convinced the others in the group to spare the lives of the Holy Family. Dismas looked at the infant child and said, "O most blessed of children, if ever there comes a time for having mercy on me, then remember me, and forget not this hour." So the legend says, Jesus and Dismas met again at Calvary. And Dismas, the thief on the cross, found forgiveness and mercy for his soul. Jesus and Dismas both claimed the day as theirs and accepted their day as unique only for them. Yes, they did share aspects of the same day, yet both had differing experiences. Those days were uniquely theirs and no one else's. That is what we should hope will be what 2017 is going to be like for us, individually and as a church. That we all live our lives as best we can, and most important, allow others to also live their lives as best that they can. We do not know what the future holds for us on our journey, but it's going to be what you make of it. Not what I make of it or anyone else. It's going to be what you make of it. Decide for yourself what you want to have. Do you want to have an oh well kind of day where you're so caught up in things that you lose your center? Or a day of just, where you just felt overwhelmed and really not in the mood? Or do you want a day filled with joy, anticipation, and excitement? There will be many things and many people that will try to guide you for your days. But the ultimate decision is yours. Make the best decision for yourself on that day, to make it uniquely yours and yours alone. You can't live somebody else's day. If you try to do that, you are robbing not only yourself of your unique day, but you're stealing theirs. Stay out of it. Let them live their lives and live your life. Let it be unique to you. This is not being selfish. This is being healthy. To care for yourself as the creation that God has given you to care for and to nurture along this wonderful yet confusing journey that we are each on. My prayer for each of us on this New Year's Day is that we live life in such a way that people wonder what we've been up to or what our secret in life is. Have you ever noticed when things are going good in your life or things are going good at work and you're all excited and people start standing around the water cooler saying, Norman's up to something. David's found himself a boyfriend, I bet, because he's been happy lately. What's up with that goat woman? She'd be acting crazy. Let them wonder. Let them wonder what your secret is. And then share it with them. And when they find out how simple it is, they not just find out what a unique day they have, what a unique creation each and every one of them are. When you have the courage and the strength to share with each person that asks just a little bit about your own faith journey, it will enlighten their journey. There's a song that we sing sometimes, and we haven't sung it in a long, long time. It's in the blue binder. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. And that's the way it is with God's love. And that love from God is your unique gift today to you. Happy New Year. If you would rise as you are able as we begin to sing our next hymn, which is 461, in remembrance.
As we prepare